raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad, same squad, same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Ay, 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 ay.
We are just a few miles from the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Jameis now on first down. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Jameis to throw it. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Here's Winston. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Riley. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
They'll run it here. This is Foreman. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here's Foreman. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Detroit! Hurry up, here we go!
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
He'll drop to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Now the first carry for Ronald Jones. Finding room inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 20-yard line. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key to left tackle?
Without a doubt. Control that edge. Get out there. You want that left tackle. If you bring your tight end over there, either way, control the edge of the line of scrimmage. You got a chance to rumble.
On second down, it's Jones. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Winston on 3rd and 2. And he's got his tight end, Howard. It's a Buccaneer touchdown. O.J. Howard, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Bucs have taken a first quarter lead. Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. Extra point good by Catanzaro, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
The drive starts with Foreman on the ground. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. A good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the juke. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
On second down, here's Miller. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Webb now from the gun. Forced out to his left. And he's brought down. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind us down to the end of this first quarter of play. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. Give him 30 yards there.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here. Brings up under pressure. Down he goes. Sacked at the 10.
That's quite a stand there defensively. A huge sack on 3rd down, and that's going to force him into a field goal attempt.
Now the Texans are going to call on the field goal unit. This is a 26-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Now a first down carry by Jones. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. And that's the first connection, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, finding the number 7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Second down, Winston. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Riley. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout.
Let's go. Wait.
From the gun, Winston. This will be caught with about the 6. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's second and goal. Second and goal from inside the 5. They'll give it to him up the middle. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
To throw, Winston. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
They'll start the drive with a give to Foreman, and he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. Now the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. A carry for Foreman. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
This is taken at about the 14. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense.
Green, triple C. Green, triple C. 5 on the 50.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to go for a big play. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go now. 3-19. Look at 56. 3-19.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 2. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Terrell Suggs. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Throwing, Hundley. Griffin's got it, middle of the field. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
Come on, let's go. What? 90.
Now Foreman, and he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1.
Blue 90. Blue 90. All right, now, lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Lucky 56. Lucky 56. 99 Philly, here we go. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. His throw caught right around the 6. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So it's 1st and goal, and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. They come out here in the eye. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Texans are in for 6. Now for the point after. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is now 10-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Noah Spence in on the stop.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Again, it's Foreman. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he'll cut it to the right sideline. And he gets this one down to the 24. A big-time ramble there by Foreman. And even 50 yards.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Let's go! Grand 38!
Now a play fake here on first down. And this will be incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Let's go! 190! 190!
And they'll go on the ground. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. Well, they had the box stacked. That run was going nowhere from the start.
And when you say stacked, you really mean it, don't you? Because when you're talking about a 46 defense, commonly known as the Bear defense, you're covering up the guys inside, and you're allowing other people to get in there close to the line of scrimmage, usually an 8-man front. That's difficult to block for an offense. On that play, the defense won in a big way. No gain at all.
On the toss, here's Foreman. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up fourth down.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
And he's got room. He's got daylight. Past the 20. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. As his guys are in for 6. And the Bucs are just an extra point away from grabbing the lead now. Such an electric play, so much fun to watch, and you need all 11 guys in sync for that to be successful, don't you?
Without a doubt. That's teamwork, to be able to put it all together. But that play is really probably the most exciting 10 seconds in football.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Well, plenty of credit has to go to the guy carrying the ball. He broke the tackle and gained the yardage. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the defender's bad. They're not going to make 100% of the tackles all the time. Even the best in the game will miss one occasionally. The key is not to let it snowball and miss tackle after tackle. On that
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. The all-pro safety Eric Berry in on the stop. They'll go again to Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up, back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Winston from his end zone on 3rd down. Hard throw, incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. This will be fielded at the 17. Trailing here in the second half, went for the aggressive play, got a little too aggressive.
You've got to know when to pull up, or if you're going to go for it, how to take your body across a punter's body and not into it. Not a good play at all.
This is Jones. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. And Brate, the tight end's got it. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So they say we'll let that completed pass stand, and we'll bring up 3rd down instead as they decline it.
So they're comfortable with the yardage. The big thing to them is what you pointed out, getting it to 3rd down and making a play there.
This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Jadeveon Clowney coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his 1st. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This is taken at the 18. "21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And here comes the Texans now. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Back now in Tampa. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the 4th. They'll run with Foreman. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. Calling a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on run downs. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
They run again with Foreman. And they'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Good work that time to get him to jump, and now here's 1st and 10.
Here we go.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Dumps it complete to Miller. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
Set! Green 39! Green 39!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one down to the 25. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. He has enough for the first down on the keeper, a gain of 6.
I do know that owners, when they watch their quarterbacks run with the football, they usually hold their breath because that's the franchise. But when you're getting that kind of a gain, hard to argue against calling it.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Quan Alexander. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
Well, I don't think we'll have to look very hard to find our play of the game. That was an absolutely monstrous big play right there. Backs to the wall. The offense has it in the red zone, driving for the winning score. And he says, not on my watch. And that is one happy bunch on the sidelines.
A dump underneath to Jones. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll be a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They'll try and run some clock now with Jones. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. To throw is Winston. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is brought in at the 21. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
A run by Foreman to start the drive. Able to push his way through. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Here we go! White 90!
After the penalty, it's Miller. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Only 2 yards on the pickup there, and now they're looking at a long 3rd down. Looking to throw. Going deep for Hopkins. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a fourth pick of the game. And now fourth down. Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for Houston. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field.
Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. Winston. Over the middle, complete. It's Flowers. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it third down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
The Bucs on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 3.
5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. Ready. 5 on the 50. Green, triple C.
Winston. This is caught by Jackson. And he will have the first down as he's up to his 17-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Jameis now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Sonny. Ready. Blue way.
The give is to Jones. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. As they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Again, it's Jones. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. After the penalty, it's Jones. And he stopped immediately there. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. As the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. The Bucs on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. And he's going to be taken down here at about the 10. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. As they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. Here's Brian Anger now. He's been terrific so far. Returnable here from the 38. Look at the spin.
Balance.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. Now comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one, whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance to set things up for an easier shot at it.
We'll see if they can do it. Might be easier said than done. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. This to almost certainly win the football game. And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. And partner, this first